Welcome to hbrv Lifestyle, the podcast. I am the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business and lately the world. But today, we're talking about dreams and goals. My goal with this episode is to inspire you. I want to, if I can get 10 listeners that get inspired by what I'm about to talk about today, it will have made my year complete. So here on December 16, 2023, I sat and reflected. I'm going through a lot of stuff personally that I don't put out there. You could just imagine my family life isn't exactly everything that's made out to be on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram or on my TikTok. It's really rocky right now. And I don't want to go into the details. But even with all the family problems that I've had this year, it was because of what it led to or what led up to it. Okay? And the reason why this is going to inspire you is because where the end result is going to come. It's not the journey. The journey teaches us how to get to the end. It's whether we choose to follow the journey. One of the things that I've learned this year in 2023 compared to last year is that the world and life gives you paths. Okay, so you walk down this path of this is where I want to go, but there are roadblocks, there's caved in roads, you gotta take a detour, and that detour leads to other detours that leads to other detours, and it creates this chaos in some people. And we change the road that we want to get on as well as we get older and as things change in our life. And sometimes a detour takes you down another path that you didn't think was possible, and you have two choices. It's a dark, scary path too. It's like Nightmare Before Christmas type of scary. Like, it's goofy, but it's like, do I really want to go into those dark woods right now? Maybe not. But you can see beyond the dark woods, there's a big, bright, shiny light of positivity, but you have to get through the negative bullshit to get there. And it's just a matter of, do you choose to go down that path or not, or do you go down the path of least resistance? That's where that saying came from. So where I'm going with this is I took a risk. I knew 2022 was not a good year in the RV business. It was very much a bloodbath. I've talked about that a million times on my here on the podcast and on the regular channel. 2022 was worse than this year. And I'll go into that a little bit later, okay? But in retrospective, from a guy who's been doing this for 15 years, 2022 was a crappier year in the RV business, in the RV universe, than 2023. But I decided to jump in both feet into the deep end. This is something my father would have never done. This is something none of my male family members would have ever done. My male side of the family, my mentors, if you want to call them that, would have done the safe thing. No, stay at Camping World, ride it out till the end. Don't go film a commercial for a small travel trailer company in Michigan. Don't take a job at Coachman, Clipper, and Viking travel trailers. They would have said, no, hunker down. Don't spend any money, don't do this, don't do that. It would have been a bloody nightmare. We had already spent $12,000 of our savings moving from Ventura, California to Vacaville, California. And I took a job that I loved the people, I loved the salespeople, I loved the manager at Camping World. The GM's name was Phil, the sales manager's name is Eddie. The two finance ladies were absolutely amazing. They were all a great group of people that I enjoyed working with, even though one of them took, I won't say who, but somebody there at that store took something I said during a podcast episode and took it the wrong way. And I apologized about that a long time ago, but it just like the little things in life, like do I stay there in a corporate environment where I'm guaranteed X amount of dollars every month and I can always Uber and DoorDash at night to make the ends meet until the economy gets better, or I can lay it all on the damn line and go chase my dream. And I knew for me to get into my dream job, to get my foot in the door, I had to get in when times were bad. But no one in this industry, no one in the entire lifestyle would have ever predicted that it would come to such a screeching halt. We're not talking about, dealers are selling 15% less or 20% less compared to the year prior. No, it was like this, guys. I went to a show in September of 2022. It was the Portland show. Curtis Trailers. It's where I met Robbie and Kara at Curtis Trailers for the first time. Great people, by the way. If you guys are listening, you two are amazing. Thank you so much for everything you guys did for me while I went to your shows. While I was there, I networked with a bunch of people. And I talked to the Haugen Group guys. I talked to Apache Camping, which was the Baker family. And the consensus was that the September Portland show is normally a show that produces about 500 sales between the 11 dealerships that go. I think if I remember correctly, it was like 97 we actually sold and went through. So that means that they sold 80% less RVs in a single show than what they are used to prior to COVID. Right then and there, I knew that I probably fucked up. But you know what? I carried on. I went to open house. And when I got to open house, Glenn Coverman came up to me. Glenn's probably been the best boss I ever had in my life, one of the best owners in the industry. And he comes up to me and says, I want to offer you a job. This is 2 months after I have left Camping World, went to go work for Coachman RV. And he says, hey man, I want you to come to work for me again. And I almost took it. But then, as the weeks went on, I signed over, 14 locations, brand new locations. And I reignited a couple old ones. And I'm like, okay, I'm actually getting some orders. So I stuck with it. And I went on this amazing road trip. I took this amazing 3.5-week road trip, driving, meeting dealers, meeting people. I had an absolute blast doing it. Nothing came of it. And then I had something else working in the works. I can't say what it was, but I had something else in the works with a major corporation that was on its way, and that got toasted out. Completely cut off. And guess what happened, guys? I ran out of money. I got to the point where I looked around and I said, there's no income coming in. And I went back to work for Glenn. There's nothing wrong with chasing your dreams. Chasing your dreams may not end up how you thought it would end up. It may not go down the path you originally set up for it. It might veer off into something completely different as long as you stick with it. As long as you stick with it and you don't let that depression hit you. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I was so depressed for probably the first 3 weeks I showed up in Pahrump, Nevada. Nobody knew that. Nobody could ever guess that I was completely depressed, that I couldn't make it in my dream job. But something happened. Something happened so fantastic that my breath got taken away. And that was that my YouTube channel and this podcast and my TikTok and all my social media stuff started growing at a better, more rapid rate. Because all the networking that I've done over the last 15 years expanded. I now had insider information from not just banking contacts that I have and supply contacts that I have, but now the service side, other dealerships, other financial institutions, including credit unions, and local suppliers to a lot of the dealerships in different states that I visited, from Montana to Wyoming to Utah to New Mexico. I made contacts that helped a really good friend of mine unload a diesel motorhome he couldn't sell. That alone was worth its weight in gold. That alone made the year get better for me, because just having that information, having that phone number in my cell phone, it turned things around. Just that one little tidbit of thing that occurred. And people think I'm crazy because I just don't call anybody anymore. I call one person. No, I'm sorry. Now I call 3 people. But for a long time, I called one person and one person only to talk. That was not a family member. That was not a spouse or a child or a mom or a brother. I called one person. And it was every once in a while. I was on my own. There's no help. So I found something. My content creation got better. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best. But if you compare what I was doing in 2022, which was scatter fucking brain everywhere. I was scatterbrain. If you watch videos in 2022, my mind was not in the game. I don't know how my channel grew. I don't understand it myself. I was experimenting with all kinds of crap and garbage. I was playing around, And I was trying to like rush everything because I was constantly on the road, constantly doing things. Yet people stuck with me. I don't know why you guys stuck with me. Maybe you guys saw the thing I didn't see until this year. But all of a sudden, all the experimentation that I did in 2022 evolved into what I'm creating today. And now I found my style. I found why and what I'm good at when it comes to filming content for the RV world. And I'm having the best long-form content month since I started it 26 months ago. I'm in month 27 of being a YouTuber. I am in month 18 of being a podcaster. Month 19 of being a podcaster. And now I have started channels. I started a shorts channel. And I discovered something so amazing through all of this, that there's two types of customers out there. There's the customer that wants my 8 to 10 minute walkthrough video, and then there's the customer that wants my 2-minute walkthrough video and doesn't even want me to talk. If they want me to talk, they want me to talk within 30 seconds of the thing and move on. So I created a channel separate from hbrv Lifestyle that's called hbrv Lifestyle Shorts in 30 seconds or less. And I do long form content videos that are less than 2 minutes, and I do short videos that are less than 30 seconds. And that's grown and now monetized. So now officially I have 2 YouTube channels that are monetized. And then I turn around and I do the stupidest thing you could possibly do as a person that is white, and I started a hbrv Lifestyle in Espanol this year. And it is growing at an exponential clip because there are so many Spanish-speaking people in the United States, Mexico, Central America, and South America that RV. And you know where I got that idea from? I got that idea from a client here from the Dominican Republic. Her and her friends, who are from different Latino American countries, told me that the reason why they can't stand a lot of what goes on the internet is because they can't find any information with a Spanish speaker. Now, not that my Spanish is really great, but I've divided my time up. I've done Spanish subtitle videos where I put captions while I'm speaking English, especially on longer 8 or 9 minute videos. But on the shorter 2 to 5 minute videos, I dub them in Spanish myself. So there's all this growth, and you can see a light. And it's going into a dark forest to get to that light. It's like, where's my master sword and my ocarina of time? I'm going to need those things because Ganondorf is in there. And Ganondorf is fame. Something I don't know if I'm going to know how to handle. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it, and that's my only fear. My only fear is if I grow this thing, is not if, but when I grow this thing, do I really want to be recognized by people on the street? And the answer is, at some point, I'm just going to have to get used to it. Oh, I need to drink a little more water. Chase your dreams, guys. You don't know where they're going to lead. It's led me down a rabbit hole where I am thinking about a lending program for subprime credit or bad credit customers to buy older RVs. It's a program. I can't share the details because I don't want anybody stealing it, but I've got this idea that I was speaking out loud. By the way, I'm going to go into that a little bit later. AI is amazing when you want to speak out ideas, and it helps formulate it. But anyway, if I didn't fail miserably, if I didn't go through all the personal problems that I've had this year, if I didn't go through the struggles that I've gone through this year, the future wouldn't look like it does. And I'm getting a little emotional because it's very difficult when your livelihood depends on other people. When I was in timeshare, I depended on people to buy a timeshare from me so I could feed my family. When I worked in security, when I worked in Home Depot, when I worked as a fisherman for somebody, I depended on the company to give me a paycheck. And when times are hard and they start cutting your hours and they start cutting your pay and the government just wants to take more fucking money out of your paycheck, you feel like no matter what amount of money you make, no matter how much money you do, you can't get ahead. That's what it feels like. It feels like there's no way out. But you know what the best news is? If you just keep fighting and you don't give up, you can accomplish anything. Sometimes you just need that break. And I told 10 Trailer Mike is my favorite guy to talk about on here. 10 Trailer Mike and I traveled together a lot. We became really good friends. In a short period of time, 10 Trailer Mike and I became these amazing friends. And he's the one guy, him and one other guy, I can call. And it's like once I've done talking with them, it's like all of a sudden my motivation factor just goes through the roof. You got to get rid of the negative people in your life. You got to get rid of all the knuckleheads that are keeping you down or don't give a shit about you. I will tell you that I found out that the majority of the people I taught, that I mentored, that I learned from and got mentored by, don't give a flying fuck about me. And that makes you at first be very depressed. But then something happens where you go, you know what? Your lives are not aligned. You have to align yourself with people in your life that are like-minded like you. I have one guy I'm going to partner with on this deal that I'm working on. This program I'm working on right now for bad credit customers and older RVs, I have this program down and I trust one person with it. Everybody else, I'm like, you know what? They're not going to ride or die with me. I'm going to involve a second guy eventually. But the reality is you have to find the person you're going to ride or die with. You can't do it on your own. Trust me, I've tried. And it's tough to do it on your own. Am I making it on my own? Am I going to make it on my own? Yes. But for my future growth, I'm going to have to find somebody that I'm going to partner with on the YouTube thing or on the social media marketing thing. Being partners in 5 or 6 companies is better than owning one of them. I love and hate the RV industry. I love the people. I love the customer. I love the RV lifestyle and van lifestyle people. As long as they don't bullshit me to death, like probably 1 out of 10 do. But here's the reality. It can be a fucked up industry. But I'm going to tell you something. After next year is over and done with, I'm going to feel like my wings have been spread. Come along on this journey with me. This journey of self-discovery that I've gone down, that I want to document on another YouTube channel, I need more cameras. I just need more cameras. I need to invest money into a couple of cameras. And there's one guy I think that will help me invest into the company that I want to start for the media part of it. Good guy, his name's Sean. He already offered. I told him no, not yet, not until my skill level comes up. Once that skill level is up, I'm good. Don't let them fuck you up. Don't let anybody do it. Something I was talking about to a friend of mine, well, he's not a friend, he's an acquaintance of mine, is I said to him, I go, there's just so many people that keep putting off things, okay? I have seen the kings and queens of putting things off, being in the RV business, being in the RV lifestyle. Today I ran into 2 types of people today. The first type of person bought a Jeep Gladiator, pre-owned one, very nice looking one, great looking car. And he's been to this dealership 9 times. I'm getting closer. Every day time he comes in. He's getting closer. I've asked him every time, what is it? What event has to occur? Well, I'm waiting for the perfect moment when interest rates and prices align with my budget. Okay. It's done that probably several times. What else is stopping you? And you could just feel that him and his partner are afraid to start living life the way they dream of doing it. Because there's an outside factor somewhere. And the majority of the outside factors that occur have to do with children. Now, I'm not talking about young children. I'm talking about adult children. I've watched too many times where people in their late 60s to late 70s, well, we shouldn't buy that and we shouldn't do that because we got to leave something for the kids. We don't want to burden them with our burial costs, or we don't want to burden them with this, and we want to leave them with something, and blah, blah, blah. And no offense to you guys, please don't take this personal, but you guys are so full of fucking shit. I told my grandfather a long time ago, before he passed away, my grandmother passed away, he was still 73 when she passed away. And he said, okay, I'm going to sell everything off, put everything in separate accounts for you guys. And I go, no, fuck that, Grandpa. You're not doing that. And he goes, what? I go, you're not doing that. I said, if you left everybody $200,000 of your money, most of us would burn it up in a year. And he looked at me. And I go, why don't you do this? Spend your hard-earned fucking money that you went after, that you earned, saved, breathed, bled, and sweated for, and go enjoy your life. Because we only get one life, guys. We get one life. We don't get a redo. No matter what you may think, we don't carry our memories. Even if you believe in resurrection or you believe in reincarnation, we don't get to carry our memories and our life with us. This is the life we are dealt. We have to do the best we can with that life. So my grandfather traveled more than you can ever imagine. Got out of the 5-bedroom house that they had lived in forever, went to a little 1-bedroom apartment, and went and kicked ass. Went to Turkey, went all over Italy and Germany, and drove his RV all over frickin' the United States and Canada for like 3 years. The dude looked like an absolute mess when he come back from trips because his hair would all be screwed up. He was always a well put together guy. His shirt was unironed. He was wearing shoes that had holes in them. He didn't care. He just looked at me and says, I'm having the time of my life. And when he died at 89 years old, he died with no regrets of not living. There are other regrets that we have in life, but he never regretted. He told me over the phone himself that he didn't regret shit when it came to not leaving people money. There was still some money left. He left me enough money to pay off my credit cards. He left my mom enough money where my mom could buy a nice little slice of heaven up in Oregon and be okay. He left her just enough where she could get out of California and buy a beautiful piece of property up in the mountains. That's my mom's heaven. That's now my wife's heaven too, but that's nor here nor there. Don't let your children's situation affect your life, especially when you've worked so damn hard to retire so you can go do things. Then I got the other side of the fence. These people, oh my God, they are the most amazing people. She's from Britain, he's from Wales, and they have a 40-foot travel trailer. And they're like, we said, screw it. We got a Can-Am X3 4-seat side-by-side. Probably should have bought the toy hauler before we did it, but here we are. I mean, my God, they love life. They can't stop living it. And they know how to use money and use debt to live that life without over exceeding their abilities. That's the trick, people. Oh, I don't want to pay. I pay cash for everything. Great. Pay cash. There's nothing wrong with paying cash for stuff. But when you don't leverage that cash, you limit yourself on what you can do. That's the secret. That's the secret to living a full life. Not to go honey badger and go buy a bunch of shit on credit, but to leverage your money. You got 150 grand that you want to spend on an RV? Fine. Find an RV in that budget and finance it. Leverage the cash. Leverage it. Heaven forbid you need it in an emergency. You don't have to sell the motorhome to do something in an emergency. Keep the cash in the bank. Finance the RV. Even if you can pay cash, finance it if you can. Leverage it so you can get what you want. So you have the negotiating power. When you finance an RV using dealer financing, you have a ton of negotiating power. Don't limit yourself to something you think you can afford that all you're going to do is dump money into. I watch it so many times, guys. This goes across the board. This is for boats. This is for cars. This is for houses. This is for anything. When you go cheap, because you get older and all you do is keep pouring money into it. Use debt. Use debt to leverage your money so you can enjoy your life. Don't live for other people. Yes, we have responsibilities to our children to make sure they grow up right. And yes, we do have a responsibility to watch out for our children even when they're adults. But there's a time to cut the cord and say, I raised you, go save your own damn money. There's a point in time where you're no longer responsible for anybody except for you and your spouse. That's the secret to fulfilling our dreams, is not worrying about what's going to happen after we're 6 feet under. There's going to be a day where we're all not going to wake up on the right side of the earth. There's going to be a day where every one of us is going to close our eyes, and that one day we're not going to open them. It's a fact of life that death will come. But what we do with our life is what makes all the difference in the world. How we live will have a bigger impact on the people around us than what we look at after we die. If my legacy was anything, if I had, knock on wood, if I didn't wake up tomorrow, I'm going to be 40. So let's say I don't make it to 40. I want my legacy to be this podcast. I want it to be my YouTube channel. I want it to be pushing you to follow your dreams. I happen to sell the dream of the RV lifestyle. But your dream could be the plane lifestyle, or the hotel lifestyle, or now this new trend of the cruise lifestyle. It doesn't matter which lifestyle it is. Go live it. You worked hard for it. And for those of you that are younger, they're not retired. Listen to what I'm saying about using money properly. There's two extremes in this world that don't work. Paying cash for everything doesn't fucking help you. Taking debt out the ass for random shit doesn't help you either. A balance of leveraging your money, using debt, is the way we get to a point in our lives where we can enjoy more and not be stressed out about it. That's the golden truth. If you want to be a YouTuber or a vlogger or social media person, you've been thinking about doing a YouTube channel for 10 years, get off your ass and do it. Go kick ass. I know you can do it. If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. Artificial intelligence has made my life easier. This ChatGPT program on my phone, when I was talking about my idea, instead of me talking about it, and then never knowing how to put it into a organized box, I guess you could call it, for 3 hours, all I did was speak to ChatGPT and have it organize my thoughts. And now I have a 12-page business plan for the company I want to start, for the lending company I want to start. My God. All we got to do is not be afraid. And not allow individuals that don't even know our names to control our lives. Okay. That's all for tonight. I hope I've inspired you. And until next time, have a good one.